The fairy tale of Beauty and the Beast has seen numerous cinematic incarnations. They are all love stories, exploring romance and friendship through such a pure and innocent lens. Belle dancing with the Beast, Kong pulling Anne closer during a calm night atop his mountain lair, Frankenstein's creation picking flowers with the little girl, a lonely amphibious creature admiring a swimmer from afar. And it is a tale of Beauty and Beast that visionary Guillermo del Toro has chosen to draw from as inspiration for his latest masterpiece, The Shape of Water. As with La La Land, this is a love letter to cinema of old, taking aim at something particularly close to my heart, monster movies. The first films I can remember watching as a child were Universal's creature features. Bela Lugosi's piercing stare slicing through the darkness of Dracula's castle. The same mesmerising glare mirrored in Boris Karloff's Imhotep. Claude Rains elegantly stalking the opera house, his identity concealed by the Phantom's mask. For whatever reason, these films are how I fell in love with cinema. And in my 4-year-old self's estimation, none, not Dracula, the Wolfman, or Frankenstein's monster, could rival Creature from the Black Lagoon. From the moment its webbed talon rises from the waters of the Amazon, I was a slave to the creature's allure. An image Del Toro recreates with subtle beauty as we first see his Gillman press a similar hand against the glass of his hermetically sealed prison cell. Then again as he accepts an offer of an egg from Sally Hawkins' Eliza. The Shape of Water concerns itself with the events which might have followed Black Lagoon, had the expedition proven successful, rather than ending in the death of the amphibian along with half the crew. Taken to a top-secret government facility which Eliza cleans for a living, the creature is subjected to the prodding of scientists looking to learn more, and the torture of Michael Shannon's Colonel Strickland, the man who stole him away from his South American home and brought him here to aid his superiors in their quest to beat the Russians in developing new channels of space exploration tech. What makes Eliza's encounter with the Beast so captivating is the fact that she is mute. She has not been able to speak since she was a baby, resorting to sign language to communicate. This is echoed in the creature's inability to talk in any language which requires vocal cords. Immediately they have a common ground on which a connection is formed. Hers were ripped out as a child, while he was born without them. As their bond grows and becomes stronger with each passing day of Eliza teaching him new signs and conversing for the precious few minutes they steal away together, they find themselves falling for one another. The creature looks at her and loves her, not despite her flaws. Rather, he is incapable of perceiving her as anything less than is presented before him. He loves her for the beauty as he sees it, just as the original creature loved Julie Adams Kay for her beautiful appearance. But just as these monsters cannot recognize the flaws in their loved ones, like the human men around them can, their own alien bodies go unnoticed. Swimming parallel to Kay simultaneously reveals both their similarities and differences in equal measure. He is humanoid, almost a man. She is as graceful in the water as he is, but was not born of the lagoon like him. He fails to realize that he differs from her so drastically that his love for her could never be requited. So the creature dies, not as a result of harpoon barbs or bullets, but of a broken heart. As Carl Denham declared, standing next to Kong's lifeless body at the base of the Empire State Building,
"It was beauty killed the beast."
But Eliza is very different to Kay. She doesn't have a boat full of men fighting for her attention. She struggles to find someone to give her the time of day, let alone take romantic interest. She loves the creature back because no one has ever looked at her the way he does. Her entire life, she has been observed as a person lacking. For once, when she is with him, she feels complete. The Shape of Water is a film about not being good enough in the eyes of others. Eliza exists in a world full of people that either pity her for her disability or cast her out as a freak. This world is also an extremely racist one. The monster isn't the only one rejected by the white dictators in power. Colonel Strickland is obsessed with superiority and relishes in the notion that God created man in his image. Speaking to Eliza's best friend Zelda, Strickland reminds her of this, establishing that man is righteous while this beast is abomination, because it looks nothing like him or her, though he believes that he more closely resembles God than she does on account of her black skin. The film highlights how this prejudice is completely without basis, to think that you are superior, that another skin colour or social status somehow makes them less a person. Following the creature's rescue from the facility in order to save his life, Strickland goes on a warpath to track him down, snarling in the face of anyone who may be behind the heist. He questions himself as to why he is interviewing Eliza and Zelda. The help, the shit cleaners, the piss wipers. Little does he know, these lowly piss wipers have just outsmarted him, and he is none the wiser because it never occurred to him that they'd have the capacity to pull the wool over his enlightened eyes. This vile racism is also present elsewhere in the film, as Eliza's neighbour Giles experiences firsthand during one of his trips to the diner across the street, which he frequents daily in order to be near the waiter, whom he secretly has been harbouring feelings for. Their conversation is cut short as a black couple walk in before being abruptly thrown back out for no reason other than their kind is not welcome, and Giles is ordered to leave along with them once he makes his sexuality known. In addition to the hatred he experiences as a result of his orientation, he is also a struggling and unappreciated artist. The director of the advertising company he works for tells him that a photograph is better than his lovingly crafted paintings. Like a parable for the practical effects of the classic movies The Shape of Water so lovingly harkens back to, he has become an obsolete relic that would rather be forgotten by the modern world. And the practical effects on display are so beautiful, arguably the most impressive bodysuit since the Xenomorph in 1979, that it brings this creature to vivid life. We believe in him, and we immediately understand and empathise with him because although we know he is not real, he is tangible beyond anything today's computers could muster. This is such an important aspect to the storytelling because it contributes to the affection we feel towards him. The monster looks beyond our superficial blemishes and values us for our personalities, making the monster the most compassionate and loving figure in the film, rendering the majority of the humans who allow nonsensical bigotry paint them as the truly monstrous ones. The Shape of Water reminds us that we need someone to love. We need something to love so that we can share it with loved ones. And in this case, that thing is movies. Eliza dreams of musicals, free to openly express her heart's desires, hitting high notes only possible in her wildest fantasies. Giles can't stand the sight of the evening news. It's just another reminder of the dismal world outside his doorstep. Instead, he opts for the classic musicals on his television set, for they offer the escape which has become synonymous with cinema. But this need is not exclusive to Eliza and Giles. After devouring the cat's head as part of his strict all-protein diet, the creature runs away in a flustered state, not realising the error of his ways, and retreats to a desolate Orpheum theatre. Eliza runs him down to calm him, and finds her job already redundant. Standing amongst the aisles, in total awe, is the Gill Man, enjoying a Mardi Gras Story of Ruth double bill. It's come full circle. A little boy, rapt, watching Creature from the Black Lagoon on VHS for the first time, perfectly reflected in a creature, not quite a man, falling in love with the images flickering past his dilated eyes at 24 frames a second, trying to make sense of it all, blindly loving it despite not fully understanding what they mean. The creature may be monstrous and alien at first glance, but take a closer look and you see flecks of blue light, glowing like starlight across the surface of his elegantly streamlined skin. You see hands that hold with tenderness, eyes that light up during bursts of passion, and in him we see ourselves, because we know what it's like to feel inadequate. We identify with his lonely existence of rejection and persecution, a beast in the eyes of others, a beauty in the eye of the right beholder.